Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, December the 4th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Greetings, folks. Happy December.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
How are you guys?
How's everybody doing today?
On this fine December evening. Our first show of the last month of 2024.
Yeah. How exciting.
2 shows from now, it will be next year.
And we won't be doing this anymore, so it
will be different to some extent.
That's right. We're gonna get very young, attractive influencers to host this show.
Exactly.
We're just gonna write it. It's gonna be done in 15-second TikTok clips.
Yeah.
And you'll get 65 of them a day.
Exactly.
And we'll have nothing to do with it.
There we go.
Success is on the way.
Success is coming. Is straightforward. Just ahead.
All right.
It's not too late to whip it. Whip it good. All right. Well, we're off to a rousing start. We should just jump right into the memes, I think. What do you think?
Well, we should.
Over with.
Really quick. I have one piece of promotion in case anybody is listening.
Please do.
Log will be playing New Year's Eve at Bar 404 here in Denver, Colorado. You should follow us on Instagram at Log Noise, and we'll give you some updates. But mark your calendars. New Year's Eve, Log. It's been a while. Last time we played on New
That
Year's
is Log, by the way.
That is. And the last time we played on New Year's Eve, a couple months later, the world shut down. But, we're hoping for
different circumstances.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be shut down by a disease, maybe by fascism. But other than that, let's celebrate the last days of our freedom.
There you go.
Go out in style.
But don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel. But that's besides the point.
I did.
You did. That's my point. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's jump into the memes. We have we went with menus tonight. The theme of the meme is menus tonight. It's of course the typical menus that we have. Let's start off with this one right here. We have sneak meat, but I enjoy I think the best one. The best choice here is customer get angry.
I would like the customer get angry braised in soy sauce. That to me sounds like a nice combo.
That could be why the customer's angry.
That could be.
Well, he's angry because somebody tried to sneak the meat.
This is true. I mean, it's possible. And what is we're overlooking? What is fish pork?
Yeah, really. This is like only one of these seems remotely realistic.
Right.
Kung Pao chicken is the only normal one.
Yeah, usually there's 1 or 2 out of 4 or 5 that are kind of funny or whatever. This one, there's really only one that makes any sense at all.
Right.
A fish pork is when you get fucked by a white guy in dreadlocks at a fish concert.
I gotcha. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad to know that. I'm glad it's on this menu too.
Yes. It can also apply loosely to a Dave Matthews concert, but nobody gets hard at a Dave Matthews
Not so
concert.
much. No. There you go. That's very true. All right. Moving on to the next one, we have. The one that they outlined on this is Potato the Crap. Okay.
Great band name. It sounds like an obscure British prog rock band from the 60s.
I would listen to them.
Yeah,
Potato the Crap, right?
Potato the Crap. I think it was 3 of the old members of the Fugs.
That's right. It was.
It was.
And somehow one of the members of the Buggles. I'm not quite sure.
I think so. I think you're right. But look at the second one down. The first one is potato fried with soured vegetables, but we'll talk about the second one down. The water fries the potato.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's a healthy way of doing it.
And then all the way down the bottom, deep fried bean curd with odor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no good without it.
No. I mean, by looking at this menu and just the grayness of it and the horribleness of it, I can already smell what this place smells like.
Right.
It does smell like soured vegetables.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And what is tuhua?
Oh, that he's the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
It's the opposite of Huaku,
It's the
isn't it?
Asian
It's
Haktua.
it's not
It's the
Haktua.
Asian Haktua girl.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
It's
Tahua.
Tuhaka.
Tahua.
With fried eggs or fried with eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Okay.
Tahua.
And then the top one is tuhua vegetables fried with bean card. It's different than bean curd.
Yeah.
Different than bean curd.
Well,
Yeah.
you got to do what you got to do.
There you go. Yeah. Moving on, we have starting at the top, sesame buns, but we have the butter pastes the cake.
Yeah, as it does.
It does. Then we have wheat cake and duck cake, but then we have mixed seafood Iraq government office surface.
Wow.
Is that eaten at your desk?
I mean, it seems like a bargain.
It's the cheapest one there, right?
Is that a popular lunch special for the members of the Iraqi government?
Well,
maybe.
it's office surface.
It's the surface, yeah. It's not the whole office.
No.
So yeah, actually, actually, the sesame buns are the cheapest. That's the second cheapest.
Yeah.
I often wonder if there's like one company that does the translation, and the guy's just fucking with everyone.
I'm
it's like no one else does it. I'm getting paid.
Yeah,
they don't know.
I actually think these are manufactured, but I don't want to ruin John's love of.
Oh no, these are actually taken right from menus.
By the way, when I think of seafood, I think of Iraq. I mean, that's
of course,
sure, the lakeside paradise that it is.
Let me tell you something. There's nothing mixed in Iraq.
So. Exactly, especially the seafood. So, all right, moving on to the next one. We have roasted eel Japanese style. Then we have sheep leg New Zealand. Then we have the carbon roasts the sheep spare rib.
That's Greta Thunberg.
So that's fire roasted, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
probably.
Although
this is really
carbon covers a lot. It could be a piece of wood.
This is really interesting where you have two New Zealand specialties on an Asian menu.
Well, you do. I mean, first of all, they have the Brazilian. You have the Brazil, the carbon burn meat.
Yeah.
Nothing beats the carbon burn black cow.
And send the 1 cup red wine.
Right. I like this. I'm going to write a song, and these are the lyrics. The carbon burns black fowl cowboy. That sounds like William. If you put William Burroughs' voice to this, you could definitely get a nice ebook.
I think this was taken from Naked Lunch, wasn't it?
That's right. Brazil, the carbon burn of meat. Carbon burns fatty cow. New Zealand, carbon burns fresh, particularly meat.
I think the name of the song is Carbon Burns, isn't it?
Carbon Burns, yeah. And then the last one, of course, the last one is Cowboy Leg, but the one before that is Carbon Burns Black Bowel.
Right. Cowboy Leg is an alt rock band from Austin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are very interesting. Moving on to
this is the place to go if you like things that are burned by carbon.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or from Brazil or New Zealand.
I want to know what the carbon burns black bowel B is. I mean, they're only offering me A.
They're out of B. Everybody took
they're
B.
out of B.
B is the pint size.
Yes.
Yes.
To go.
Exactly.
And are the
this is eat-in only.
Are the numbers do they represent the year that the meat was?
that's the year because they only introduce one new dish every year.
Gotcha.
Right. So these are the years that they've
Well,
then you continue
except for 1948.
Right, of course.
And 1913. Those were last times they doubled up.
Right, exactly.
All right, well, history lesson.
I love it. There you go. Then we have this one.
Wait, can you go back?
Sure.
Can you just imagine the brouhaha as like the old man is talking to his kid who's running the business now after 50 years, and he's like, "Are you crazy? You're gonna put sheep leg New Zealand and cowboy leg, both new items on the menu? You can't do that. Come on, Pop. It's 1948. We got to move forward here."
Exactly.
And some poor cowboy visited this restaurant in 2009.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wasn't welcomed in there, and it shows why.
And his horse left without him.
Exactly. He rode in on the horse, and then the horse left.
All right.
So,
When
all right.
cowboys divorce, who gets the horse?
Exactly.
All right.
That sounds like a good lyric.
It is.
I mean, by
All
what
right.
band? By what band?
Electric Six.
Electric Six.
Six.
I said Electric Six.
Okay. You said it weird.
I'm
All
sorry.
right. On to the next game.
Didn't we see them in Brooklyn last year?
Come on.
I think so. Anyway,
Come on.
moving on to this one. Roe wipes the pear flowering quince soup. And of course, we have Szechuan bean curd, but the bottom one is interesting. Chicken, rude and unreasonable.
Yeah.
Well,
That's called the Karen chicken.
There you go. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
I mean, most chickens are rude and unreasonable when you're about to cut
kill
their
them.
head off. Yeah.
Exactly. I would be too if that was the case. So
Yeah. The row wipes are really handy to have. I keep a couple in my car.
you always got to keep a couple handy. Absolutely.
Yeah, the flowering pear sometimes gets overwhelming, but
All right. And finally, our last one here is we have medicine flower chicken nest. And we have fatty cow in the United States in dad in sand in.
Yeah, wow, that's a holiday treasure right there. It's
Right.
it's a summer dish.
Exactly. And we have the black.
is that like a turducken?
Yes,
It's basically a turducken. Yeah.
Take some fatty cow, put it in sand. Dad eats it,
no,
and then we eat him.
Well, you got to put it in the
you
United
put it,
States
you
first.
put it in dad. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
and
only
then
do
you
this
put
in
it
the
all in the sand
Right.
and see if anybody notices it.
Exactly. And then we have the black fryings, the breeze ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then the best one, the last one rather, is A is to the lake a nest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, this is I think I've heard this at like poetry slams, Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see this, but a little guitar, little beating the guitar in the background.
Yeah, no, I mean, the guitar's too obvious. I mean, maybe some pan flute.
Oh, I can do that.
Or
I can
some
see that.
faint Tibetan bells,
There you go.
things of that nature.
I like that. I like that.
Definitely a
That sounds
tabla.
Yes.
cool. There you go.
Yes, and a typewriter.
And to wrap it all up, a Brazilian rain stick.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
There you go. All right. Well, there you go. Those are our memes
All right.
for the day.
Now that everybody's gone, let's talk about the
Sports.
Giants.
Let's talk about let's not. Well, let's start with a football background.
Just for those who are unable to leave the room.
Right. Well, I saved this for now. Look,
because
I'm
of a
wearing
physical disability or perhaps a kidnapping situation.
exactly. Now I am wearing a Giants jersey and a Giants cap tonight.
Thank God you're not naked.
Exactly right. But here's the thing: this is the last time during this football season I will be wearing any Giants paraphernalia. So
How
I
about the
wore it
San
tonight.
Francisco Giants?
Well, during this football season, I said.
You waited
No.
till now?
Well, I've worn it before, but I'm wearing it now just because they are
Well, I'm
absolutely.
saying now you're like, this is it. It's over now.
It's over. Well, it was over like weeks ago, but
What did you just do? Pour your leftover chunky soup out of your
No.
thermos?
no, it's ice. I put it in there because that's one of those.
You're gonna
You
start
know,
drinking?
I could leave. Yeah, well, that's the point of
Yeah.
wearing the Giants
Yeah.
jersey and that.
All right, Dean. All right, Dean Martin.
But I'm making something that you're gonna like. Okay.
right.
All right. So this is a local gin. Okay.
I'm just saying. This is the last time I'm
Very-
going to wear this Giants jersey.
This is the last time I'm going to
I'll
wear
make
a
myself
Giants
back there.
jersey. I want to
Very-
see you actually wear like street clothes
Oh, not for this show.
or a
And
robe. I think you should go off the rails and just.
I might do a robe next show.
I think
I
you
might.
should dress
I'll
like
do a robe.
Mrs. Roper for the next show.
I think you're right. So in any event, actually, I'll put that in last. I am making. It is the holiday season.
Okay.
Okay. I am making one of Harry's favorite cocktails.
Oh,
hmm And Harry, what is one of your favorite cocktails?
I'm guessing with the gin, you're making a Negroni.
I am making a Negroni. Yes.
I'm sure it's got some sort of
hey.
special,
What did
you
you
know,
say there?
Trenton's own bitters or
No.
no, nothing local to New Jersey.
It's a local gin from
Fatty cow
Morristown.
bitters.
It's a local gin from Morristown from Dismal Harmony Brewing.
Dismal Harmony.
Dismal Harmony Distilling, I should say.
Are they? Is it run by a bunch of metal guys? That label looks very metal.
It's metal-esque, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I'll put it up again. Right there you go.
Okay. Oh, there's a bear on there or something, or turkey.
No, it's actually an English woman drinking black tea.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Okay, or a bear.
Or a bear.
Either.
She's drinking a bear, yeah. But it's a little different because it's the gin, it's the sweet vermouth, it's the Campari, and
reindeer tears for the holidays,
and a little reindeer juice. No, a little cranberry juice.
Oof.
For the holidays, just a little bit, just a splash.
It's like a gin and cran.
No. It's literally a splash. That's all it is.
So it's just gin and cranberry juice.
No, it's gin, sweet vermouth, Campari, and splash of cranberry juice. And there you go. There's your.
Look at that.
So there you go.
What is Campari? Is that a whiskey?
Campari. It's a bitter liqueur.
Oh. Yes.
There you go. Perfect. And the sweet vermouth is sweet, like fortified wine almost.
Right.
And then gin is gin. So there you go. Yep. This is very good.
Sweet vermouth on the rocks with the. You guys seen Groundhog Day?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Sweet vermouth on the rocks.
She orders the sweet vermouth on the rock with a twist.
Was that what's his name? Chris
No, that's what's her name? The producer, Andy McDowell's character.
Andy McDowell's
Bill Murray's trying to get with her. So
he
goes to the bar. So she orders the sweet vermouth with on the rocks with a twist. He's like, I'll have the same.
Well, you are
a sip and he's cool.
You are missing.
I remember that. Yeah.
You are missing the twist. You should have an orange in there. Yeah. An orange twist.
Yeah, I didn't bring anything. I didn't. I just went.
Next time, I want you to make a Negroni with orange crushed soda.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I would use knee high.
We'll call it the Mecklenburg.
Mecklenburg. There you go. We could do that. All right. So my point of making this now is that I need a cocktail because the Giants are in full tank mode. They will not win another game.
So, all right. So rather than lament what the Giants are, because, they're terrible.
What will they be?
Yeah. Like, what are your solutions? Obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously. I want to ask you guys because you're Giants fans. Mm-hmm. I would say obviously you're going to draft a quarterback.
Of course.
Well, yes. Well,
I mean,
they're the Giants. Nothing's obvious.
Right. Well, right. I mean, for you, obvious for you, what you consider obvious, not what the Giants.
I think the Giants ruined their chances last year of having a quarterback that I think would have fit into the Giants system pretty well. Having said that, I think I'm not sold on Dable, and hear me out just for 1 second.
Okay.
I feel as if there's one common denominator with all of the unhappy people that have gone through the Giants over the last few years, other than the front office, and that's Dable. He's not really all that loved, and that's fine if you're Tom Coughlin and you're winning, you're having 6 shitty seasons in a row and then you win a Super Bowl. I don't see Tom Coughlin in the future with Brian Dable. I just don't. Now, do you go through another coaching change?
Well, it's the third year for him.
He's in his third year now. Next year will be his fourth.
So they brought in
part of me. Part of me says that you do, but it's got to be a veteran coach, and it's got to be somebody who really understands the game and what they could do for it.
Here's the question, though: a veteran coach like Bill Belichick, or
yes,
somebody or not to that level, but a veteran coach to that degree,
right?
Or a veteran coach like, and not that I mean this particular person, but for an example, a veteran coach like Robert Saleh or Matt Eberflus, or
we can't take chances on people who have been decent coordinators but have not had the time for chances is not here.
Well, let me ask you this:
we need somebody who's won and has proven themselves.
Would you, and not that he's even available because he hasn't been let go yet, but chances are he's going to be let go at the end of the season. Would you take Doug Peterson?
No, I don't like Doug Peterson. I never have. Even when he
won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he won a fucking Super Bowl. Big deal. There's a lot of coaches that won a Super Bowl and
against Bill Belichick.
He got really lucky. He got really fucking lucky. And I can't stand coaches who wear visors. I can't stand it. So
that sounds like a me reason for not liking him.
That's right. That's very Pete. So, yes, I think you need to go out, and I think you need to take a big swing. You guys, I think, do I think the what's his name from Miami's the answer? I don't actually. His numbers are pretty good. I think Sanders is the but you need somebody with a strong hand who's going to be able to coach him, because he is this new breed of arrogant dickhead.
Do you bring do you bring Dion in?
No, you don't. I mean, I don't think Dion's going anywhere. With the amount of people who are committing to Colorado, I think Dion is smart enough to realize, and I think that it probably doesn't make sense for him to try and become a head coach in the NFL for the first time, and I think it's time for him to let his son go out on his own. Mm-hmm. And I think he understands that.
Mm-hmm. And also, he could stand to build his resume in college a bit more. You know,
he hasn't beaten anybody good.
No,
they changed their schedule this year to have a lot more fluff in it, and they've got the luck of the draw with some teams that should have been better that haven't. Mm-hmm. They lost to a Nebraska,
but he's not getting into the playoffs.
No,
so he's not having a shot at winning anything. And I'm not saying he has to win a college football championship.
And he's not going to. It's just the cards are stacked against him.
Probably not.
But the fact that he's getting all of these young top recruits to commit tells you something about the fact that kids want to play for him. And right. I think he's just getting his feet underneath him in college. And I've seen some differences this year.
Yeah, if he could take some of those young recruits and build a team over the next few years that is competitive, maybe that does get into the playoff at some point, right? Even if it's number 12, if they keep it at 12, then that's something that might translate to the NFL as far as getting players who want to go there and play, in part because it's, for Dion. So
what I would prefer the Giants to do, and this just doesn't happen in the NFL anymore, is I would prefer for the Giants to go out and get a top 10 quarterback via a trade. But it's not going to happen. The Giants have tons of holes to fill. And I'm not even so sure that if you go out and get a Shedeur Sanders, he should necessarily play right away. It's all about the situation and about what they can do. I'm convinced that the Giants can't be as horrible as they seem to be in picking talent via the draft. Mm-hmm. I think that there's something in the coaching, and I think they need to step it back, go back to fundamentals. I think they need a coach who's able to keep the GM. Yeah, without a doubt, they need a new GM, and they need to bring some veteran coaches in here with some veteran coordinators. Now, obviously, if you bring in a Belichick,
they had one last year. They had a veteran coordinator for 2 years, and he got chased out.
That's my point. Mm-hmm. So with the Belichick, you don't necessarily need that, but there's other options potentially out there that are a little better than a Saleh or Eberflus or some of these other guys who I just don't think have what it takes. There's a big difference between being a good coordinator on a very good team. It doesn't always translate to becoming a good head coach, because being a head coach is very different. It's a different skill set. I think they need somebody who can come in and who can understand these kids, but also be a little tough on them. If you look at what the Steelers have been able to do all these years, and it's because they have the right coach. So that's what I think the Giants need to do. I think they need to draw a line in the sand and say, hey, look, you've had your shot. I think we need a new GM. I think ownership needs to really say, hey, look, we failed. We botched Daniel Jones from the beginning and at the end, to be fair to Daniel Jones. We botched going back. We botched the end of Eli's career. We botched our inability to hold on to talent. We could argue forever about whether or not it would have made them sense to actually pay Saquon, and Saquon is, with talent around him, is going to be an MVP candidate. So this is not the Giants. And look, the Giants have not been a consistent football organization for a long time. Even going back to the Eli years, there were many, many, many peaks and valleys during that time. Yes, they won 2 Super Bowls, but they were able to put together teams and they were able to draft talent and keep them there long enough to be successful. And I don't see that.
And they had a regime that knew what they were doing.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah. All right, let me throw a name out.
I just don't get. I don't see Brian Daboll with the Giants being successful. I see Brian Daboll going and becoming an offensive coordinator again with, who knows?
Buffalo? Go back to Buffalo.
No, I mean, Buffalo doesn't need him. That's my point. That's my point.
Let me throw a name at you.
Yeah.
Because it used to get thrown around all the time.
Sure.
I know who you're going to say, I think.
Eric. Bieniemy.
Eric. Well, no. I thought you were going to say Rex Ryan. Bieniemy, I think there's something there with Bieniemy, too. And he's had his chance a little bit with the Commanders. I don't think.
Yeah, but he's never been a head coach.
Yeah,
he's assistant head coach.
Assistant head coach.
Now I think, and now he's with UCLA. So
yeah,
maybe he's ready to come back to the NFL.
Bieniemy's not.
No, you don't think?
No, because he's not the right personality to be a head coach. I'm telling you, man, these players, they're different. It's a different world.
What about any former disciples of Bill Belichick from the Parcells/Belichick coaching tree?
Well, Parcells' disciples have been successful, right? Sean Payton,
Belichick's disciples
Bill Belichick,
don't do so
Tom
well.
Coughlin. Belichick's disciples have not had any success.
No. Mangini,
none of them.
What's his face that screwed up in Denver and in L.A. Josh McDaniel.
Yeah, none of them. Look, Giants.
Matt. What's his face?
No. The answer is no.
All right, let me throw another name at you.
Go out and get Belichick.
Gruden.
It can't get any worse. Go out and get Belichick and
You
let
don't get
him.
Belichick. How about Gruden?
No.
You want to bring in Chucky?
No. Nope.
Disciplinarian like Tom Coughlin?
He's not really a disciplinarian. He's a hothead. There's a difference.
How about this one? Lovie Smith.
Again, good coordinator.
Winning record, been to a Super Bowl, not coaching.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have gotten fired in the first place from Chicago in the first place.
Did he go to the Super Bowl with the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
When they played the Colts the year before the Giants won.
Yeah. God, that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one that I'd say, okay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Go big. Go out there. Look, I think you make Belichick an offer, there's not many people competing with you. And I think they're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And you put a new GM in there.
Well, Belichick's going to be both.
Well, I don't know but maybe I think he needs somebody else in there that's going to help him sift through.
Well, I mean, he could have a director of player personnel or anything like that to help him do that, but he's going to be the GM, the president of football ops. But I think that's the way you're going to get him, right? You're going to give him the farm, right? And then he's going to reorganize the team to make it sustainable and make it a success again. And then he's going to put his own successor in place. And then he can back off and remain with the organization the way they should have done it with Tom Coughlin.
But Tom
Coughlin should have never been fired.
Here's the thing.
They should have gotten rid of Jerry Reese and made Tom Coughlin the GM and then let Tom Coughlin replace himself and remain as the GM. That's what should have happened.
I understand all that. But so they fucked up all that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. We don't have forever. And I don't think Belichick cares about a legacy. I think he cares about winning another Super Bowl and beating Shula's record. That's what he gives a shit about.
Right.
Yeah. So let him do it. Wouldn't that be the best bookend on a career for him to do that with the New York Giants and let him bring in? Look, there's one thing Bill Belichick until the very end. Okay. And I don't know what happened in New England. I'm not going to hold that against him. What he was able to do was hold on to some core pieces and build around them with talent a lot of times that people thought were over and done with.
Mm-hmm.
And he won Super Bowls with receivers that he picked up outside a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot.
Yep.
They were all 5'6" and white and slow as fuck, but he won Super Bowls with them. So he knows talent and he understands the game. And I think you need to bring him back into the fold, let him end his career with the Giants. I think he has success left in him.
I mentioned before a disciple of Bill Belichick, not a Parcells coaching tree, a Belichick coaching tree. And we mentioned whatchamacallit, Matt Patricia and
Right.
Josh McDaniel.
They've all been horrible.
And that, but
successful as coordinator.
Hold on. Joe Judge is a Belichick disciple. Brian Dable is a Belichick disciple.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Joe Judge was a horrible decision.
Yeah.
Again, another bad Giants decision.
Right.
Joe Judge. What was Joe Judge? He was in charge of jock straps and fucking.
He was the equipment manager. Yeah,
he was the equipment, basically. Joe Judge was a bad decision.
He was the special teams coordinator.
He was horrible. He wasn't even. I mean, I can understand if you're a special teams coach and you led the league in returns and blocked kicks and you were reinventing the world of special teams. No,
all Joe Judge was a pivot in desperation by the Giants because they lost out on Matt Rule,
right? Which again
he fucked up in Carolina anyway. So
we've got nothing.
Yeah.
It can't get any worse.
Maybe.
It can't get any worse. So at least let's have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick back in New York with the Giants is a great ending to his career. Even if the Giants don't win a Super Bowl, if he can beat Shula's record and do it as with the Giants, I'm all for it.
The only way that it would be even more poetic justice, if you will, and a good story to beat Shula's record is if he went back to the team that he coached with the first, which was before the Giants, and that was the Colts. And Shula coached with the Colts.
Yeah, we don't want.
So if he did that, but
fuck the Colts.
Yeah,
they were the Colts when they were in Baltimore. Now they're just another team.
Their owner's too much of a nut job. I don't think. I don't think Belichick wants to get involved with him.
I that's my take. Enough of the Giants. At least it'll give people something to talk about on New York sports radio. That's for sure.
Well, it's given them a lot to talk about because that's all that's been all over the air. Well, between them and Pete's Jets for the last however many weeks, it's been insane. And that's another story in and of itself. I mean, the Jets are in the position they're in, but they made the mistake of winning an extra game on top of the Giants. So
and they may win a couple more. You never know.
Yeah. So
the Jets are capable. Look, the Jets, they should have won last week. I mean, that was an epic meltdown.
It was. Well, before we get to the Jets, just to wrap up the Giants.
Yeah.
I personally, my opinion, I agree with you. I think Shane needs to be gone. Shane, I honestly think that John Mara is just biding his time until the end of the season to fire Joe Shane because he's probably, I mean, after the entire that colossal screw up with airing all of that Hard Knocks BS and him actually saying he'll have a hard time sleeping at night if Saquon goes to the Eagles, and then Joe Shane laughing at that statement, and then Saquon goes to the Eagles. But he got rid of Saquon Barkley, let him walk. He let Xavier McKinney walk. All right. Right now, the Xavier McKinney is tied for the league lead in interceptions,
and the Giants haven't had an interception in 15 weeks.
Since week 1.
Yeah.
All right. So and they had one. They've had one the entire season. One interception.
And Saquon's probably going to win the MVP.
And let's talk about the Jet game. Okay. Who was the insane defensive player on the Jets? On the Seahawks in that game?
Yeah.
Was it Big Cat by any chance?
Jason Sehorn, right?
Yeah, right. The Giants let Leonard Williams walk too.
Giants have let a lot of people walk because
they let talent walk, and they keep
because they're not the fucking Giants anymore.
They're a fucking joke of an organization, and they can't get out of their own way. And I'm over it.
You got to spend money to win a championship,
right? So,
and because they wasted too much money on Daniel Jones. Look, it's
let's pay him. That's smart.
The hard part of the divorce is over. Okay, now just say goodbye to the brother-in-law and Shane and the guy living in the basement who didn't realize Daniel Jones left, and let's start over. And let's have somebody come in there and actually keep these guys that we actually do have that you don't want to lose. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so sick of watching. You can't always blame it on the players. When Malik Neighbors is stepping up and basically, in so many words, saying, "Hey, our fucking leadership on this team sucks."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can't lose him.
No, you can't.
You can't lose him.
Well, you're not going to lose him for 4 years. He's on a rookie deal. He's not going anywhere.
If he wants to go, he'll go. These players run the roost. Mm-hmm. Give me a break.
Well, it's not the NBA. Well, it's close to it, but it's not.
How about the fucktard who went to the Chiefs and won a Super Bowl? Yeah, he was on a rookie contract too.
Yeah, well, but he was garbage with the Giants.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. He was always hurt. He was dropping passes. The ones that actually
he was largely garbage with the Chiefs too. He wasn't like he went to the Chiefs was a great player.
No, he was garbage with the Chiefs too. He was lucky enough to get traded.
He was Phil McConkey in the Super Bowl. He caught some passes.
Phil McConkey blows him away.
No, he doesn't.
No, he does. Phil McConkey blows Kadarius Toney away, and Phil McConkey's not a great player. Wasn't a great player.
No,
he didn't live up to his potential with either team.
No. And the heart that Phil McConkey had, that's what
my point to all of it was not about his talent. My point was if somebody wants to go, they'll go.
I got you.
Because this is the world we live in.
I got you.
It's a fine line.
I would say Neighbors has way more leverage than Tony ever had.
Than Tony ever had.
That goes.
Right. Yeah. So switching to the Jets, epic meltdown. Ridiculous. The Jets should have walked away with that game. The Jets should have walked away with several games this year that they lost. And everybody knows it. And Pete, of course, you know it. But my question to both of you, clearly, new regime next year. It's going to be a new GM. It's going to be a new coach, all new coaching. Does Aaron Rodgers stay or is he gone?
I think if a new coach comes in, they're not going to want him.
Which is the rule of thumb, right? They wouldn't want
him. Here's my point with Aaron Rodgers. I think talent-wise, Aaron Rodgers has something left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
I think
not much, though.
Yeah, but I think mentally and attitude-wise, I think Aaron Rodgers has ruined his reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Aaron Rodgers has put up some gaudy numbers in his career. He's an extreme personality,
a little bit,
and he's his arrogance is just something you can't. I don't think you could win with that. I really don't.
It's hard.
If it was backed up with effort and leadership and leading by example,
right,
then that's one thing. But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers ain't no Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let me ask you this. If Aaron Rodgers does go, is it retained? No, is it? No. You don't know. Let me finish my question first. If Aaron Rodgers is not a Jet next year, does he play next year or is he done?
I think he's done because unless he's maneuvering right now and there's a team that thinks they, need him, but there's some teams that need a quarterback. Trust me.
One of the pundits floated a theory, an idea the other day on one of the sports shows. I think it might have been Evan Roberts with Evan Atiki on WFAN. What if he goes to Minnesota?
You don't have to give the whole backstory.
Yeah, what if he goes to Minnesota?
No, I know the whole.
And so because they're not going to look, Sam Darnold is going to want a payday because he's done well, right? And they're not going to keep him and not going to pay him that money because they have J.J. McCarthy. But J.J. McCarthy's technically going to be a rookie next year because he didn't even play this year, right? So what's to say Minnesota doesn't offer Aaron Rodgers a modest but decent salary for him, but not breaking the bank.
If Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back with the Jets, he's retiring.
Yeah, so he's not going anywhere else. He's either playing with the Jets or he's done.
That's what I think.
Well, he's under contract.
Yeah, I know.
So the Jets would have to trade him if he wanted to go somewhere.
They
could
release him.
They could release him, which is what they should do.
I said this a couple weeks ago. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play for the New York Jets next year.
It's as distasteful as I find that. you might be right, and the reason might be because they want somebody other than a rookie QB,
Right.
And to start. And if it's not going to be Aaron Rodgers, if they're going to release him, then they're going to have to go out and get another veteran
Well,
QB.
they have Tyrod. They have Tyrod Taylor, right?
Okay, Tyrod Taylor is not the guy you want mentoring.
No.
Your high draft pick, unless they're thinking the kid from FSU is maybe going to be their future. That whether that was a draft steal or not.
Yeah. I still think you ride Rodgers for a year.
But if you're going to go out and get a veteran who's on the last year of his contract and dump Rodgers to sort of mentor your whoever you're going to draft. But you're maybe going to probably have to trade any draft pick that could get you a quarterback that you really want.
Yeah,
or whoever those guys are. So there's a lot of moving pieces.
Trading for a veteran quarterback. I mean, it doesn't happen very often these days.
Well, unless you got somebody who wants Aaron Rodgers,
right?
That's
who is that?
That's I don't know.
And here's the problem:
Carolina.
Aaron Rodgers is not going to go anywhere that he doesn't want to go.
Yeah. He's not going to just accept the trade and go.
So
I'll tell you the one team I could see Aaron Rodgers being successful on. And this would only mean if there was an injury or some reason why their starting quarterback could not consistently play. I could see Rodgers being successful on the 49ers.
Okay. That would be a coming home, so to speak, too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, he could,
Purdy has not had a fantastic year. Granted, all of his weapons have been hurt. Looks like, Christian McCaffrey's out now again.
But I don't think that's his fault.
No.
You're asking him to do a lot. But yeah, I mean, he could go to somewhere like, if Stafford ends up retiring, he could go to LA, depending on how New Orleans feels about Derek Carr. I mean, there's a contract situation there. He could go there. But I tend to, the more I think about it, I think, yeah, you're right. I think he's going to, if he decides to play, the Jets will just play him and hope for the best. And he can help somebody on their team who they think might have a future as a starting QB.
And look, the Jets, as we all have said, on paper, have way more talent than what their win total has yielded.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing I will say is that Aaron Rodgers has to come to an understanding that he is not going to be successful with Nathaniel Hackett as his offensive coordinator. It's just not going to happen.
That's the other, and this is the other thing that I think works as a strike against bringing Aaron Rodgers back, is that you're going to bring in a new GM and you're going to bring in a new coach, and they're going to have to basically put their plans on hold until Aaron Rodgers is done being Aaron Rodgers on the Jets. And I don't know if you're going to find a real quality coach who's willing to come in. And I think that's going to be the decision.
Yeah.
That's going to be the coin flip or the deal breaker for a coach for the Jets. The Jets are going to have to decide: are we going to bring in somebody who we really want to be as a coach, and that guy says, "I don't want Aaron Rodgers, get rid of him," or are we going to keep somebody as an interim, give the guy who's got the job now another year or whatever, and keep Aaron Rodgers? Are they really going to let Aaron Rodgers run the organization that much that they'll put off bringing in perhaps they obviously they need another head coach, or maybe they keep the management team, the GM in place for another year till Aaron's gone. I mean, this is the Jets here, and Woody Johnson, who just doesn't seem to know anything about football at all, and I don't know how he makes decisions. Magic 8 Ball, maybe. It's
some dark, murky times in New York football. That's for sure.
It is.
The Meadowlands has never stunk so bad.
No.
And listen, I want Belichick too.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great if Belichick came back, said, and look, he might be fine with Aaron Rodgers for a year. You know what I mean? Because he's Bill Belichick. And he's going, okay, well, that's going to give me a year to work on other things. Right? I don't have to worry about a rookie quarterback I've got Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
He can take the blame. I can work on other aspects of the team. Then he'll be gone. But I think it would be great for him to come back to the old AFC East. Get some revenge on
story. Yeah.
It would be a great story.
How many wins away is he? 23 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's a couple of seasons. It's a couple of seasons.
Yeah. You know, come back. You could beat the shit out of the Patriots twice a year. I bet he'd love that. I mean, I don't believe for a second that parting was anything other than acrimonious.
I think all of that would have been good a year or two ago. I think the problem is that Aaron Rodgers has shown who Aaron Rodgers is, and any of the zest or shine or appeal of Rodgers is gone.
Well, we're seeing that he's just not Aaron Rodgers anymore. Yeah. And there are moments, there are flashes. Yeah. But you know what? Zach Wilson has
few and far between lately, though. So
few and far between, and not enough to say, he's still, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I don't see him
of the old Aaron Rodgers.
I don't see him becoming Joe Montana with the Chiefs. You know,
no. So, yeah,
anyway, let's move on to something else because God, this is just the worst in the world.
Horrible. Really By the way. One name that is getting floated around for the Jets head coaching job next year. You're going to love this.
Joe Klecko?
No. Eric Mangini.
Yeah, been there, done that.
And, of course, Rex Ryan has been talked about, too.
Yeah, Rex Ryan was not a good... Rex Ryan took a team that was already made and went to 2 AFC championships.
They're talking... And who made the team for him? Eric Mangini. But and the same GM, literally the same GM has been floated around as the next GM for the Jets, Mike Tannenbaum.
Yeah.
So they're talking about getting the band back together, either Eric Mangini or Rex Ryan with Mike Tannenbaum.
Get them both.
They're talking about going back 15 years.
Get them both. Get Mangini and Rex Ryan. Right? One's offense, one's defense.
You're right. Co-head coaches, something that's never been done. Right?
No, you know what? That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think that would be okay with that.
That'd be a very Jets thing to do.
Yeah, I think Rex Ryan would be okay with that.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
It ain't looking good.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the fact that there was a first on Sunday in the NFL.
Mm.
All right, a player was awarded with a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Or a scoring
on the same play.
On the same play,
it was Josh Allen.
Yeah. How and fantasy leagues are all like pissed off because how could the same person get credited with 2 touchdowns in one play? He just did it.
He initiated the pass. There was a lateral.
He passed the ball. It got lateral to him, and he scored it. Yeah. Right. So that was the first. So kudos to Josh Allen. Now here's a question for you on Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Is he in the conversation because of and this has been talked about? I saw a few people talking about this week. Is he because of and sure his legs and his rushing ability and his scrambling ability and his running ability, and his passing prowess and
his mobility
and his mobility, everything.
His ability to run if he's not passing, and his ability to pass when he's not rushing.
Running, right? All of that. Roll it all up into one.
Get his ability to do both sometimes.
Get on with your point.
He's passing while he's running.
Yeah, and his ability to do it very quickly.
Anyway, is he in the conversation with one of the, as the top? Is he the best quarterback over Patrick Mahomes right now in the league?
No,
Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback.
The best quarterback in the league
is Bo Nix.
No, the best quarterback in the league is clearly this year is Joe Burrow. His numbers are staggering.
Mm-hmm.
His defense is fucking garbage. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow, the numbers that he's put up, the other 10 people who have done that, the worst record that the quarterback had was 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
most of them were 11-1 and 12-2, and Joe Burrow, to me, is the best quarterback in the NFL this year, clearly.
Fair enough.
And I will tell you this, he'd get my vote for MVP. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but you know how hard it is to go out and do that week in and week out
And
when
lose.
you know that your team cannot stop the other team from scoring?
Yeah. No, you're right. It is. You're right.
And yes. And to answer your question, yes, Josh Allen is in the discussion. Josh Allen is always in the discussion. Josh Allen needs to go in probably to Kansas City, beat Patrick Mahomes, and win a Super Bowl. That's what Josh Allen needs to do. Patrick Mahomes is a great intangible player. Patrick Mahomes' stats are nothing of what they have been in years past.
They haven't. And fantasy football players, league owners, league players will tell you for years, Patrick Mahomes has been the top quarterback to draft in your fantasy league.
Right.
He is garbage, not garbage, but he's mid this year, as the kids say.
Yeah, Josh Allen, his numbers are great. Look, I mean, from an MVP stat standpoint,
Tua's putting up better numbers.
Lamar Jackson is still, I mean, a lot of people will say that he's still, in the conversation.
Right.
And he's a hands-on, again, MVP favorite. I don't agree with that because my eye test tells me something else.
Fair enough.
But I can't speak out of one side and say, I'm Joe Burrow, even though he's lost games, and not give it to Lamar. I think Lamar Jackson's been had a better year individually than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a smart player who's on a good team, who knows how to win games.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
And get some help from the refs.
Well, that goes without saying.
Right.
But no, you guys are right. Mahomes' numbers are not great.
No, they're not. They're not at all.
They're not great.
All right. And to wrap up the football conversation, unless either of you have anything else, let's just go back to Thanksgiving for a moment, and not the Giants. The first game, the Lions and the Bears. It clearly got him fired. But what was Matt Eberflus thinking?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
Yeah, he was thinking, I want to get fired.
Yeah. I mean, you have a timeout left. The clock's running down. Yeah. You can't be that dumb to know that this play is not going to get you. Even if he completed a pass, the clock is running down. Take the timeout and kick the field goal.
Yeah, some of the
he just stood there. What the hell was he thinking? That's a head coach in the National Football League.
Well, not anymore.
Was the head coach in the National Football League.
He was.
Right.
So, that's I don't know. It's talk about a brain freeze.
Yeah,
that was a real big one.
Yeah. All right.
I got a couple of we'll talk about football. I got a couple of college football things going on.
Go for it.
I'll see you guys later.
I got an NFL football quiz, quickie quiz.
Oh, all right. Let's do
I haven't watched college football since Doug Flutie played.
Well, you don't.
That's not true.
Neither have I. So actually, I didn't really watch it when he played either. So let's do the NFL quiz first.
All right, I got a quickie quiz for you. Okay, I need you to name for me, and we don't have to go. We don't have to this isn't a contest, so the two of you can just spit them out as you guess. It's just a quick quiz. The top 4 quarterbacks in NFL history that got paid the highest amount of money per passing yard of their career to date.
Say that again.
What the 4 quarterbacks in the NFL that got paid the highest amount of money per passing yard, that they threw for in their career to date, because some of them on the list may or may not still be playing. So, to date. So
guys that got paid a lot of money and maybe didn't throw for a lot of yards.
There you go.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is not on the list.
Okay.
Top 4. Top 4 this is.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is not on the list.
Give him a couple years.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be. Yeah.
Oh man, this is an interesting question.
Well, we have to go back, I think, and who was the real bust on the Chargers?
Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf. Yeah.
Nope, he's not on the top 4. He's he's up there, but he's not on the top 4.
Top 4.
Top 4.
I'm guessing that we're at least talking 80s and on forward for these.
Yeah.
90s and on.
Yeah. The money's just been back when the money wasn't as much. Obviously, that's not going to factor in, right? So,
Jeff George.
Nope.
I don't know. This is going to take forever.
Roethlisberger?
Nope.
Ben Roethlisberger? No.
No. Nope.
Oh, Jesus. Aaron Rodgers?
I'll tell you this. All right. Every quarterback on this list was not in the NFL before 2009. Okay.
Well, that
and
doesn't help me.
3 of the 4 quarterbacks are still playing.
Okay.
So there you go. Well,
so it's
I use that term loosely, but they're still active. How's that?
Okay. Derek Carr.
Derek Carr's not on the list.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan is not on the list.
Did you say Rivers? Phillip Rivers?
He didn't, but he's not on the list either.
Yeah, they all actually were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco.
No.
I'll give you another hint. The number 4, the quarterback that's number 4 has been on 4 NFL teams. The quarterback that's number 3 has been on 2. The quarterback that's number 2 has been on 1.
Oh, I mean, one of them's got to be Deshaun Watson with that.
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's number 3. $10,543 per passing yard he's made so far.
Do we know the other ones big names or no?
You know them.
Well, who
Alex
else?
Smith? How about Alex Smith?
Alex Smith is not.
Nah, he never got a big cash out. Sam Bradford?
No, he's not on the list. He's up there. He's actually, I think he's 10. I'm not sure, but he's up.
Carson, how about Carson Palmer?
Carson Palmer's not on the list.
How about what's his name got paid and then sucked after he left New England? Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo is number 4.
Okay.
$9,792 per passing yard so far in his career.
I can't think of any more.
So you got 3 and 4. We're looking for 1 and 2. 2 has only been on 1 team, and he's not necessarily, now he's a quarterback, but he's not necessarily only a quarterback.
It's not necessarily only a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Is he also a TikTok influencer?
As a position on a football team, not a different career. He may be another position on the offense as well. Uncertain play.
Oh, is it I don't know if he make that much money. What was it? I don't even remember his name. What Cordell Stewart?
No.
We're talking after 2009.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know when anybody played. You guys
Cordell Stewart played in the 90s.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
but you had the right idea, Pete.
who else was?
And he may or may not be playing in MetLife Stadium this Sunday.
He may or may
not for the Giants either.
Who are they playing this week?
I don't know.
Do the Giants or Jets play at MetLife Stadium this week?
The Giants are playing home this week.
Who do the Giants play this week?
Are you looking, Pete? Are you looking, Harry?
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints? Alvin Kamara.
No.
What's his name? Yeah. Hill. Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill has made $21,701 per passing yard. There you go. And the number one.
Give me a hint. What team?
The hint, he's been on 7 teams.
7 teams.
He got drafted by the Redskins in 2009. He played on the Saints from 2009 to 2012. So he actually won a Super Bowl with the Saints.
Another Saints player, huh?
Yeah, but he obviously won the Super Bowl. He was Drew Brees' backup, obviously. He was on the Chiefs. He from 2013 to 2015. He was on the Eagles in 2016. He was back on the Saints in 2017. He was on the Bears 2018 to 2019. He was on the Lions in 2020, and he was on the Chargers 21 and 22. And then he retired. Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion.
What year was that?
When the Saints won in 2010, or the 2009 season, his rookie season.
I don't know.
He was a second-team All-American in college. He was a Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year in same year.
And he's still playing.
No, he hasn't played since 2 years ago, 2022. So, either of you want to take a guess? You want me to just tell you?
I don't know. I could picture him. I don't know his name.
What?
Yeah.
Pete, guess.
No idea.
No idea.
Chase Adams, or what the fuck was his name?
You're close. It's Chase is his first name.
Yeah, I can't think of his last name. It's like another first name or something.
Chase Joey.
Chase Davids.
Chase RadioPete. Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniel.
He made $24,686 per passing yard. So
yeah,
there you go.
Wow.
Now this isn't per throw. This is per yard. Okay,
we understand.
Yeah. So I wasn't saying it for you. I was saying it for anybody listening to the show. So all 3 of them. But in any event, yeah. So there you go. That's the list for the evening. There you go.
Who was the other quarterback for the Raiders who really fizzled recently? He must be up there on that.
He's in. I think he's actually 5th. If we did 5,
what was his name? Lamarcus?
No, Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus. There you go.
Jamarcus Russell. I believe he's number 5.
Yeah.
If I go back to the list, I just did.
That was yeah.
Jamarcus Russell. I believe he's number 5. So
well, there you go.
And there you have it. All right, Pete, your college questions.
All right. Let's see. So we have had some over-unders in our football polls here about Colorado Buffalo wins and how many teams from the Big 10 versus the Big 12 will make it to the playoff and stuff like that.
Yep.
So one of the ones we had in the past was undefeated teams in the college football playoff. The over-under was 2.5. Johnny went over. Harry and I went under. Obviously, it can't be because there's only one undefeated team left.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to revisit that, and we're going to say undefeated teams in the college football playoffs, and the over-under is 0.5. So will Oregon remain undefeated through the regular season, or will they lose?
Who would they have left to play?
I don't know.
I think they play Ohio State, don't they?
If they play Ohio State, Ohio State.
All right, I'm going to look it up
It's
here.
a given.
They got to play Penn State this weekend.
They'll win that.
I guess they only have one game left.
Just Penn State this weekend. That's it.
Yeah, I guess so because they're 12-0.
I'm going to say they're going to go undefeated.
Boy, number 1 versus number 3 though.
Yeah,
they're at home though. I think.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. They're undefeated.
So John says over. Harry.
Boy, I'd love to see them win it, but Penn State scares me a little bit.
They've only got one loss.
I know that would make a really interesting scenario. I'm going to say yes, but I don't feel overly confident about it. I think that game's a toss-up. I'll give them a little bit of an edge because they're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just to be contrarian, I'll take the under.
There you
So
go.
I think I hate Penn State, but I'll take them for the win just to be.
I mean, what a success story this year for Oregon. Although,
yeah,
and they did clobber Michigan. Michigan's having a down year. They beat Wisconsin, but barely.
And they lost their top quarterback last year too.
They did. They did beat Ohio State. That's not all that impressive considering, Ohio State now has 2 losses? No, just 1? No, 2.
2, yeah.
So
yeah, they have 2.
There you have it.
All right. Next up, will there be more 1-loss teams or 2-loss teams in the college football playoffs? Now, there's 1 undefeated right now. There are 6 1-loss teams and 4 2-loss teams, and 1 3-loss team, which is why I put Alabama. Really?
I'm going to say more 1-loss team for the simple fact that I think that, with the exception of Penn State, the rest of the 1-loss teams are going to win this weekend. But I think
and there's already 2 more of them.
Right. And
yeah, I agree.
And there's already 2 more. And then a 2-loss team, one or 2 of the 2-loss teams may lose a third game. So bringing that number down. So yeah. So one loss, more 1 loss.
Yeah, I tend to think I agree just because there's already 6-4 in favor.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be contrarian. I'll say a 2-loss.
There you go.
And finally, to John's point that he just made, how many 3-loss teams will there be in the college football playoffs? Right now, there's 1, which is Alabama, if they stay there. And I think they will because they're Alabama.
Right.
And I don't think there's anybody else who's really, I mean, assuming they win, of course.
Right.
So the over-under is 1.5. Will it just be Alabama? Or will there be another 3-loss team?
There will be
joining
one.
Them?
There will be one other
2-loss teams. You got Georgia, you got Ohio State, you got Tennessee.
Some of these teams, I think, are done with their season, though, aren't they? Like, is Miami done with their season?
Everybody has another game. Everybody should.
Who's Miami? Who's Miami playing this week? I don't think they're playing anybody.
Let's take a look.
Let's find out.
I thought everybody had another game.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, guess not.
Yep. So it won't be
30th.
Miami. Will they be able to hang on at the number 12 spot at 10-2? They're actually 14 in the AP poll. So, and then aren't there some championship weeks that will dictate some of this or no? I don't know.
Let's look.
Yeah, you know what? The only games there are this week is Tulane at Army, UNLV at Boise, Iowa State at Arizona State, Georgia at Texas, Penn State at Oregon, and Clemson at SMU.
Okay, so there you go. Georgia at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
and that's two 2-loss teams.
I think Texas wins that game.
Texas is a 1.
Texas
loss.
only has 1 loss. Georgia has 2. I think Texas wins that game.
I do too. So there you go. So yeah, I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with 2. I'm going to go with. I'll go with the over on the 1.5. On the 3-loss teams.
Oh, you got Boise State playing UNLV too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go under. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore, but yeah.
But Boise State's a 1 loss, so even if they lose,
doesn't matter. It's only 2.
Yeah.
And
all right. Yeah. So John, you going to go over?
I'm going over.
Harry?
Under.
So you think Georgia's going to win? Georgia's going to beat Texas?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Well, if Georgia loses, then it's over. It's not over. It's not under.
I'll go over. Yeah. I'll go over then.
Now, the other thing is Georgia would have to stay in the college football playoff. But again, I think they would even with 3 losses.
I don't wear pleated pants and visors. I just can't follow college football.
There you go.
It's
Well, I mean, it's just the other like the teams that right now are outside the top 12.
yeah, I know.
You've got Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, UNLV, all at 10-2. I don't see any of them getting in.
No, neither do I.
Ahead of a 3-loss Georgia
whatever
team.
Paul Feinbaum says, just do the opposite. Because he'll change his mind 16 times between now and
True story.
All right. So, Harry, you think Texas is going to win?
yeah.
All right. So then that's an under.
Okay, there we go. I misunderstood.
And I like both those teams, but I'm going to go over. And then hopefully Georgia will get to meet up with Alabama, the 2-3 loss teams, and they'll get to hopefully beat them.
There you go. All right.
So there we go.
All right.
So right now, as it stands, we got 4 from the Big Ten, 4 from the SEC, 2 from the ACC, 1 from the Mountain West, and 1 from the Independent.
Yeah.
And I'll take us back to our more teams. It was the ACC versus the Pac-12.
Yep.
Harry took the ACC, so that's a win. John, you and I took the Pac-12. We
the
only
Pac-12.
had 2 teams, but I thought at least one of them was going to get in.
I did too.
Nope.
Big Ten versus the Big 12. We all took the Big Ten, so that's a win. Oh no, actually, that's a win.
It's a win. It's a win. It's a win.
And the SEC over any other division is a tie right now.
Is it?
Because the Big Ten has 4.
That's true.
So we all took the SEC, so that might be a push.
Well, we'll see after this weekend.
So there we go.
All right.
So the Oregon Ducks Penn State game is the Big Ten championship game.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It'll be a good game.
Should be. All right. Cool. Anything else on football?
Well, the only other thing here is we had same, better, or worse for quarterbacks.
Right.
And Bryce Young was sort of in the worst column because he got benched.
Yep.
But of course he's back now, so maybe he could rally. And they say he's looking a little bit better.
Yeah, he
Not
has.
that I'm really watching him play, but
highlights I've seen, and of course I watched the Giant game too, when they were in
right.
Germany. But yeah, he has looked a little bit better.
And then Anthony Richardson, who was benched after week 6, who's also back now. So, but he almost
watch him in the Jet game the same week. So
yeah, as long as he plays, he almost has to have a better season than last year because he was hurt.
Yep. There you go.
So yeah, that's it. We got a better regular season record, but we'll no need to talk about that right now.
Fair enough.
And in our shelf life, everything remains the same.
Yep.
With Brissett and Jones, the only guys benched for non-injury reasons.
Fair enough. All right, cool.
So yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Moving on to really quick baseball. The winter meeting started.
Yay!
Thoughts on Soto?
Listen. I always come back to Coca-Cola. It's Pepsi has its enjoyability factor, but Coca-Cola is the best soda out there.
I'll ask you this. I understand what you're saying. I see where you're going.
By the way, just as a quick aside, did you know that Dr. Pepper outsold Pepsi last year?
Did not know that.
Yeah. Hard to believe.
Crazy.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No worries. Now, I got a question for both of you. Apparently, the Red Sox have emerged as a huge possible landing spot for Soto. They're big in play, right? I don't see it. They met with him, of course. But my question to both of you is the talk, the chatter, if you will, about the Red Sox being a big player against the Yankees or Mets or Dodgers, or for that matter, for Juan Soto, is that just Scott Boras pushing the narrative to up the price, or are the Red Sox actually?
Red Sox aren't in it.
No.
None of it matters.
I still say he's staying in New York, and he's either staying in the Bronx or going to Queens.
I think he's going to stay with the Yankees, and it might be the downfall. But here's why. Okay. This is the projected starting rotation for the Los Angeles Dodgers next year. Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Shohei Ohtani, Gonsolin, and then Miller. That doesn't even have Clayton Kershaw in the mix.
Right.
That's the starting rotation for the Dodgers.
Why is he not on that list?
Don't know.
Are they expecting him not to be ready at the beginning of the season?
They're going to turn him into a closer. He's going to become the best closer in the game. I don't know. Maybe they know something with his injury that we don't know, but
maybe.
And maybe, maybe once one of them gets hurt, he's filling it. Just give up. Nobody's got a shot. Nobody's got a shot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Dodgers are the smartest organization in sports. The roster that they some fucking way are able to put together is unbelievable. Just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we have to. I mean, the only shot anyone has is maybe even more injuries than they had last year.
Right.
Which wasn't enough to keep them from winning it all.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
It's got to be that Southern California
It's hard
weather.
to argue with you and say, no. There's plenty of other teams that. You're right. The thing about the Dodgers, though.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Is that their follow-through is usually pretty good, but they don't have a lot of World Series wins.
Yeah, well,
until that last step.
That's what I was going to say. They're at this level pretty much, with the exception, obviously, the rotation that Harry was just saying. They're at this level every year.
Not like this.
Well, right, but here, let me finish that thought. If you're an American League team, you're not worried about, oh gosh, I got to face the Dodgers probably in the World Series, right?
No.
So even if they get there and they lose the World Series, well, no other National League team got there. So the effect for every other National League team is still the same.
Right.
If the Dodgers get to the World Series, they got there, we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's maybe small consolation. But I think you could say as far as getting there, yes, they are the by far prohibitive favorites, and you'd be pretty foolish to vote against them.
Yeah, and that's just their pitching.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't take Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. And the fact that their role players
Ohtani
are Teoscar Hernandez and people that just had one of the best postseasons of all time.
Right, exactly. So,
yeah. Freddie Freeman is their third best position player, maybe fourth.
Well, I guess then it doesn't really matter where Juan Soto goes to.
That's
all we can do is hope that he doesn't go to LA, because then it's just completely over.
Yeah.
So
there you go. I don't know. I wouldn't say who knows what's in Soto's mind? I mean, everybody wants to win a championship, of course.
Here's what's in Soto's
mind. He's already won one. He won one when he was 19.
Okay, but all right. But is he disenfranchised with the Yankees now?
No, he was.
They got there, but they didn't win it, and they had holes.
Not at all.
And they didn't address their problems, and they could have, should have, would have been a much better team if they'd done something. But Cashman didn't, and they haven't, and they've been bad for a long time. And Cashman still hangs around, and maybe he thinks, if I stay here, I don't know, maybe I'm not going to get that second.
It's not any better in Queens.
I'm not saying it is.
I know.
The Mets are not going to win a World Series as long as Uncle Steve.
If he's purely of that mindset, he's going to end up in LA.
Remember,
he'll either go to LA.
No, hold on.
Maybe Boston is ready for a resurgence. I'll go join the boys in Boston and see if we can do some damage there.
Remember this time 2 years ago when the Yankees were we always thought Aaron Judge was going to go to the Giants or the Mets or somebody. Who the fuck knows where else he was going to go. Mm-hmm. I think Soto realizes that he can cement his place and maybe win a couple championships along the way by staying with the Yankees. I really do believe that. I do think that his preference is to stay with the Yankees. I think what he's doing to himself via his agent is everybody else is driving the price up. And the Yankees are going to kick themselves if they don't pony up. Mm-hmm. So they're going to do it. So I think he's going to stay with the Yankees. But in doing so, the other teams might just be handcuffing them. My point, though, is that having said all that, the Yankees made it to the World Series. And while they had a couple games won in that World Series that they should have won had they been able to close. Mm-hmm. So they have the ability with less stars to win games. It was a weird year last year, don't get me wrong. But they actually kind of surprised me in the postseason with their ability to win relatively easily to get to the World Series. I think Soto realizes that it's different. I think he had the best year from a personal standpoint. I think he had the most fun. And I think he kind of likes having Judge around because does it make him a better hitter.
Sure.
He sees a lot more hits, a lot more pitches. So, and he's not going to get that unless he goes to the Dodgers, and even there, I'm not sure it's the same.
Right.
So true. I think he's going to stay in New York. I think the Mets are in play, but I think at the end of the day, I think all it's going to do, I think he's going to get $660 million for an obscene amount of years, and it just might be a bad decision in the long run. But he's going to get it. And I think the Yankees for the next year or two need to just load up on guns and bring your friends, because it's not a long-term deal. You got Cole, you got a couple other young pitchers that are all right. You got to fill a lot of holes, so do it. Go out and do it. Don't dick around the edges. Go out and do it.
And that's what they're known for under the Cashman regime.
Yeah. Well,
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on which Cashman regime, Cashman used to be a genius at going out and getting David Justice and Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden, people to fill around the stars.
Yep. Yeah. He was a genius at doing that. He was.
Different ownership now.
Yep. So unleash him. Yeah. Do it. You're going to make money. God, it's the Yankees. Just go fucking do it.
Johnny, what do you think? Where does he go?
I honestly think he stays. I'm not going to be specific of one team, but he definitely stays in New York. He's either going to stay on the Yankees or he's going to wind up signing with the Mets. Yeah,
signing with he's going to play for the Giants. He's going to be their tailback.
There you go. And I know we showed this picture before, but only from my phone, not on the screen.
Oh,
but
God, please don't.
This was our fourth anniversary. Right?
God.
Actually, it was after our fourth anniversary, but because we're in our fifth year now doing this. But
I don't want to see that.
Yeah, we were in Hoboken together. Yankees game 5 when they lost, right? And that was the end of the series.
We thought they were going to win, and we left.
We thought they were. Well, this was earlier in the day. This was when we left Black Bear, and we thought they had it in the bag because they were up 6-0? 5-0. 5-0. And so we left, and sure enough, I think that's why they lost, because we left Black Bear. That's why.
Yeah. If that means a championship, to get me a cot in the back, I'll spend the entire World Series in Hoboken.
We will stay at the Black Bear and drink Negronis until they win.
That's right.
Exactly.
No matter how often the guy comes back and gives us a stink eye.
That's right.
Exactly. Hey, the undering.
You guys got to order some food?
Call it to the pen.
Exactly.
You got to sit there. You got to order some food.
I got to the table coming in.
The onion rings were good. How was the onion soup?
The onion soup was good.
It was good.
The onion soup was good.
It was good.
All right.
Cool. All right.
What else we got?
We got to go back to football for a second.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
Just for a moment, because we forgot to.
The 2024 Get On With It Podcast Fantasy Football League.
There you go.
All right, the league rolls on. This week it's actually you got the picture? Did I send you? I sent you the picture.
Yep, I got it.
There we
Right
go.
there.
So,
Oh,
this
trust
week
me,
is
I
week-
have the picture.
14 out of 15 regular season weeks. And last week, Jersey Johnny got a 1-point win over Harry Lug Nutz. Me and the Coin tied at 4 apiece. And so that was week 13. And now we have week 14, in which John, as you see the teams in yellow, those are bye teams. So he's got 3 out. I've got Washington, and I still don't feel confident. Harry has got Denver and Baltimore on the bye week.
My 2 best teams are on a bye.
2 best teams are on the bye week. And going
That's
against
not true.
Coin.
Minnesota's your second best team.
You really
Yeah,
think
Minnesota.
Minnesota's better at this time than Baltimore or Denver?
Well, listen, here's the good news for you
close.
this week, Harry.
I don't think so.
Here's the good news for
Not
you.
Baltimore, maybe Denver though.
Yeah.
I think Detroit is playing Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
So unless this is the week that they actually let Kansas City lose, that could be a loss. And the Clippers are playing somebody good. Green Bay, I think, actually. Is
Yeah.
that right? So the Coin's top 2 teams got some tough competition. So that bodes well for you.
There you go.
But you see the power rankings there.
You do see that the teams that I have in my roster this week are Jacksonville and Miami. The Dolphins will not win if I have them in my lineup. They just won't.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have actually, it's a request to Pete. All right.
Yes.
Would it be okay with you if I sit the Giants and take Houston? Because I think Houston on a bye is going to do better than the Giants playing the Saints.
If you're going to go down, you're going to go down with your best.
If the Giants are going to fuck up their chances for the top pick, they'll do it this week.
Right.
Is Drew Lock starting?
Listen, Giants are playing the Saints.
Saints aren't that great.
No, they're not. Saints are terrible. They're on my team.
But
Jets play
half of the starters, the Giants, the only captain that is starting this week for the Giants is the long snapper. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
oh, sorry, my bad. Lions are playing the Packers. My bad.
Yeah. Lions play the Packers tomorrow night.
And
Lions play the Packers or did they play Minnesota?
No, the Lions are playing the Packers on Thursday night.
Lions are playing the Packers. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Dolphins are playing the Jets, so that could be a win. The Vikings are playing the Falcons. Giants are playing the Saints.
Yeah. I have the Vikings are playing the Falcons, so I get a point.
That's a point.
But it's also a lot.
The Bucks are playing the Raiders, so that's good.
That could be
Jacksonville's playing the Titans, who are terrible.
Yeah.
Who else you got?
There's nobody worse than Jacksonville.
Well, Titans won last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Chiefs are playing the Chargers. So that's a strike against the coin. Mm-hmm. And then the Bengals are playing the Cowboys. So you got a shot here.
I got a shot.
You got a shot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Coin's 2 top teams have got tough competition. Yeah. And you guys got some relatively.
So I'm only 2 points total for the year behind John.
Behind John, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're all 2 points. We're all 2 points apart from each other. Quinn is 38.
But record-wise, I'm horrible.
Record-wise, you are 4-7-2.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, and John is 7-3-3, but he's got the extra tie. So, of course, there's not enough weeks for you to catch up wins.
Well, Pete, you're also 7-3-3.
7-3-3, yeah. And
but you've got the tiebreaker because you have more wins.
No, our record is the same.
The only thing.
No. Yeah, I got a couple more points.
The only thing better than obscure talk on a podcast is a screenshot of a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Well,
we're really going to be roping people in.
Hey, let me tell you something. More people listen to the audio podcast, so they don't even know this is up. So
that's good. Yeah, they're smart.
And any fantasy league geeks who are watching are loving this right now.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's it. We'll see.
Has
what
nothing to
happens
do with fantasy.
Not at all.
We'll see what happens this week. Next week is the final week of the regular season, and no one has a bye.
Not this week. Next week is the final week.
Next week, week 15 is the final week,
And then it's over.
and then we head to the playoffs.
Playoffs. Yeah, then we have the
Does everybody get into the playoffs? Or is it
We're
just
all
you
going to
and
the
John?
playoffs.
We're all going
Yeah.
to playoffs. Yeah.
Just a matter of the regular season. It's just a matter of seeding,
Well, again, it's
just like in real football.
Makes-
Yeah, literally. But
this makes no fucking sense at all.
no, it does because look, you could wind up last
I
behind the
know.
coin
Gives me a
and
chance.
still win.
Like you guys had a chance last year, even though I had
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
I understand.
So,
Yeah. Listen, I could have said, oh, listen, we'll have the top two teams play for the championship and the bottom two teams will play for the consolation.
I think
This
that's
will happen ultimately anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm like, let's have everybody in the playoffs. Why not?
everybody in the pool.
There's
Everybody
no
involved.
money involved here. You get a piece of paper that's really
All right.
online.
and
we
this
done?
has been brought to you by
The 2024 Get On With It Podcast Fantasy Football League.
there you go.
That's our only sponsor. It's not even a profitable money making entity.
No.
That tells you everything you need to know.
You got
All right, quick
We can't
question
even
for
get
you.
Me Undies to sponsor us.
I got a quick question for you.
I bet I did actually.
Speaking of basketball,
Mm.
a couple of basketball things here.
Are they?
I even
for
got a
real?
hockey thing. We'll get out of here soon, quickly, I promise.
Quick.
So far, would you categorize Joel Embiid as a bust? I don't just mean this season where he's only
This
played
season or his career?
No, his career so far. Never played 70 games. I think 68 is the most he's ever played. He's had players around him, but they've never really won anything.
I'm going to say no.
He's not a bust.
He's not
He's
a
going to
bust.
be 30 this year. Not a bust yet.
Not a bust yet.
Heading into the
Yeah, he's still a good player. He's won an MVP. There's
He's a
still
great player,
potential
yeah.
there. Yeah, he's not a bust yet. He's not in the bust
not
yet.
a bust yet. Okay.
It's not a bust.
All right. You get a little. Are they for real?
Sure.
Yeah.
A little
Let's
Basketball,
do
are
it.
they for real?
We're gonna go through this.
What is real?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
All right. Are they for real? The Emirates NBA Cup 2024 is going on. Why? I don't know. I don't understand exactly how it works, but I've got the standings here. So we've got 4 teams left. Moving on, 3 group winners and a wild card. So I wanted to ask you, amongst the group winners, we're leaving the wild card out. Which of the group winners is for real as far as winning the whole damn thing? So in the East, Group A is led by the Knicks at 4-0. Group B, the Bucks at 4-0. And Group C, Atlanta at 3-1. The wild card is the Orlando Magic, but they're not in this. So Knicks, Bucks, Hawks. Who's the most for real amongst those 3 teams to win the 2024?
The Bucks.
Knicks.
Bucks are. I think the Bucks have won maybe 7 or 8 in a row. I think they've won 9 out of their last 10. The Bucks. The Bucks match up well against the Knicks.
I agree with Harry in theory, but I'm going to say for this particular instance and what's going on here, I'm going to say the Knicks.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we shall see.
So Knicks, Bucks. I'll say the Bucks. No, you know what? I think the Knicks. I agree with John. All right, let's go to the West. Group A, moving on to the next phase. The Houston Rockets at 3-1.
I know.
Group B, led by the Oklahoma City Thunder, also 3-1. And the Golden State Warriors in Group C in the Western Division, also 3-1. Mavericks are the wild card at 3-1. But again, they're wild card, so they're out. So Rockets, Thunder, Warriors. Who's more for real?
Okay,
winning this whole thing.
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Okay, see.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Warriors. Just because they're surprising.
Last night.
They're surprising this year. Everybody loses.
Yeah, this is true.
But yeah, why not? Warriors are they're on the come, as the kids used to say. They're on the rise. So there we go. So that's it for basketball. You guys want to say anything else about basketball?
No, I'm good.
All right, let me throw a quick stat at you here. Let's switch it up to hockey.
Mm-hmm.
We know Ovechkin is chasing Gretzky for the all-time goals list. He's 27 out.
Mm-hmm.
He broke his leg a few weeks ago, and he was seen skating the other day. When he first broke his leg, they called him week to week, and then they said, "Oh, he's gonna be out 6 to 8 weeks."
Yeah, it was a hairline. It was a small fracture. It wasn't like
he broke his rib. Yeah,
yeah. It was
right. It wasn't like he broke it. Yeah,
yeah.
So he was seen skating, no pads or anything, but kind of skating around. And so we'll get back to he had 15 goals in the first 18 games, 27 away from Gretzky's record. Given his progress so far in his rehab, do you think he will get it this season?
What's the prognosis of? Have they gave him a timeline?
Well, they said 6 to 8. It was November 18th, which was how many days? 12, 14, 16 days ago?
Uh-huh.
Something like that. So 2 weeks ago, and he's already skating around, which everybody is. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to play next week.
Right. Yeah.
He's ahead of schedule if you went with the 6 to 8 weeks.
I'm going to say he does get it.
Comes back early enough.
I'm going to say he comes back early enough and gets it. Yeah, because as he's getting closer, they're going to be feeding him the puck.
Right.
So
I mean, he was close.
Well, listen,
he was close to averaging a goal a game. I mean, you think he played 18 games and had 15 goals.
15 for 18.
How many games are left?
50 something.
I don't know. We're only in November. Yeah.
And how many does he need?
I mean, December.
27.
It's going to be close.
I would think if he's skating, he's coming back by the beginning of next year, right?
So that
another month, early January.
That means that
January would be 6.
He'll have 3.5 solid months of being.
Right, so you think he's going to have 45 goals this year?
Another 27 and 3.5.
Well,
I mean, if he averages what he averaged the beginning of the season before he got injured.
Well, he won't. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, but
because he was on a tear that's just unmanageable.
Right, but my point is, as he's getting closer, they're going to feed him the puck to get him that record this year. So that's what I think. Anyway, that's what I think.
Interesting thing, the Capitals without him looking legit. I think they've won, like 6 out of 8 or something since he went down. So
yeah.
It wasn't just him dumping 15 goals into the first 18 games.
True story.
All right, now quick trivia question. We're going to feature broken legs because Ovechkin broke his leg on November 18th. I want you to give me 2 other professional athletes who broke their legs on November 18th.
Joe Theismann.
One of them is Joe Theismann.
Yeah.
And the other one, give me the sport.
Football.
Really? Alex Smith?
Alex Smith. Very good. Very good. Isn't that weird?
That's right. Yes, that's right. Because Alex Smith broke his leg on the same day as Joe Theismann. I remember that.
Yeah. All November 18th. So I don't know, man. I'm not playing any more sports.
But no, you can play sports, just not in Washington.
Yeah, apparently that would be.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So Theismann was 85 and Alex Smith was 2018. Seems like longer ago than that.
Does seem a while ago,
yeah.
It does.
So last year, Ovechkin had 31 goals. The year before that, he had 42. The year before that, he had 50. That was 21-22. So he's dropped off almost 20 goals in 2 years. He's already got half of what he had last year.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. He went on a tear.
And again, as I said, the team is winning. They look good.
I think he's going to come up 2 to 3 goals short, and then break it next year.
Fair enough.
Now, will he retire after he breaks it? Let's say he breaks at game 4.
No, he'll play.
Will he skate another?
No, I don't really think he's said he wants to retire. I don't think he will.
He'll play another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
To make it legit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this. If Ovechkin's next goal comes against a goaltender that he has not scored against previously, that will break a record that he shares with another player. And it will be a goal scored against his 179th different netminder.
Okay.
And that will break a tie with, and I'll give you a couple seconds to guess who.
Wayne Gretzky.
No, not Gretzky.
Lemieux?
No.
Guy Lafleur.
No.
Bobby Orr.
It's not. How old is it? Is it a while ago?
Well, I think he might still be playing, but not.
Yeah,
in
I was
going to
say it can't be way old because
the Czech guy.
Goalies didn't switch up. They didn't have, guys in the 60s and 70s weren't playing against that many.
He played a long career. He only retired in the U.S. a couple of years ago.
Right.
At like 43 or whatever it was.
Jeez.
Pittsburgh Penguins. Shares initials with one of the members of this podcast team. Or at least your air name.
Jaromir Jagr? No.
Yeah, there you go. Ovechkin tied right now at 178 different goalies scored on with Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah.
So that'll be a new NHL record if he gets his next goal against someone he's never scored against, which is probably likely.
He's tied right now.
Yeah. I mean, at some point during the season, he will almost certainly get a goal against someone he has not scored against.
He's not scored on,
previously. So
right.
there you go.
All right.
Well, even if he doesn't get Gretzky's record, he can send Jagr a box of chocolate.
He can send Jagr a box of chocolate.
send him the a puck, signed puck.
Sorry for breaking your record.
Yeah, I enjoyed sharing the record with you, but it's over now.
Yeah, I think look, I never thought it would be a record that would be broken, but if Ovechkin's going to do it, I think he's going to want to distance.
Yeah, you don't want to break it by 3.
Yeah,
you want to break it by like 20. So yeah, I agree. He has not. There are people who are saying he should retire because, as you mentioned, his production has dropped. But
I don't
think
his production has dropped, but it's still he's scoring.
He's still scoring 30.
He scored 20 last year. Yeah, right. Or 30. You're right, 30.
Yeah,
but 30 goals. 30 goals. Yeah,
30 goals to 30 goals.
I think he was out for a little bit.
How many Stanley Cups has Ovechkin won?
Just one.
Just the one, yeah. Just the one.
I think that's the other thing that's going to hurt him a little bit. Although, Gretzky never won it again after he left Edmonton. It's crazy. It's hard.
You're right. Yeah, I think if Mark Messier had stuck around a little, like just stayed and didn't leave and come back.
Yeah.
No, didn't leave and come back on the Rangers.
Oh, I got you.
That might have been a little different for him. He might have gotten a second one because the Rangers won before Gretzky got there.
Yeah, of course.
So,
I don't think that would have been. I think it was bad timing all around.
Yeah. He's played 70 plus games each of the past 3 years.
Yeah.
77, 73, 79. So
let me ask you this question, which I think I know the answer to. There's even if he breaks Gretzky's record, there's no way you rank him higher than Gretzky all time, do you?
I would not.
No.
I would never displace Gretzky with Alex Ovechkin. That's just me as a Rangers fan. Wouldn't do that, but have at it if you have a different opinion. But I couldn't. I'm not taking away the title of the great one.
How long did Gretzky play?
Giving it to Alex Ovechkin.
A year and a half?
No, like 3 years, 3, 4
Was
years.
it that long?
The
last thing I think of Wayne Gretzky is a Ranger. It's the last thing I think of Wayne Gretzky.
Well, he went from there to LA and then he retired. So
yeah, I think you'd have to look at how many games did they play?
Yeah, and I wasn't even referring to me being a Rangers fan. I wouldn't displace Gretzky as the great one.
Just because it's the Capitals.
Because of him being a Ranger for 3 or 4 years or whatever, but just because Ovechkin's on the Capitals, that's why.
Also, Ovechkin's sort of like, the evil villain that he's become a lot more likable, but
he's not his teammate Tom Wilson, but I mean,
he doesn't have any of the, he has one championship, and of course there's the other awards that Gretzky won, the trophy awards, and Gretzky had 2,000 something assists.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Ovechkin's got 700.
Yeah.
You can't just Gretzky's got almost 3,000 points. Ovechkin's got half that. So
he's not displacing Gretzky.
You can't.
I'm not sure he's even top 5.
Well, now look, the games of Ovechkin might do it in less games, maybe. So you might say, well, maybe he's the greatest pure goal scorer, but you'd have to kind of quantify it like that. But I don't think
here's a great comparison. I think
he's a better player than Gretzky.
It's who's a better point guard, Magic Johnson or Steph Curry? 2 totally different players. Right.
Yeah.
Curry scored more points, but Magic Johnson, averaged 11.5 assists a game in his career and almost 8 rebounds. So just totally 2 different players.
Right.
I Gretzky, it's hard. Bobby Orr, he's also, I don't think Ovechkin's better than Gordie Howe or Mario Lemieux. You get into maybe 5 or 6. I don't know.
Well, also we measure great players by championships too. It's not just really numbers.
Well, do we?
Ovechkin, he just doesn't have the resume.
Yeah.
So
we don't necessarily have to, but we do.
Right. How many cups did Sidney Crosby win?
Right.
1, or did he win more?
No, I think they won 3, right?
He's 3,
3 or 4. I think 3.
I think it's 3. Yeah.
Jaromir Jagr, he won 2, right?
Sure.
2, yeah. 2.
I have no idea.
Mario Lemieux, what did he win? 2?
2.
So it's other than when you get back into the old days with all of the Canadian players,
when there were
Montreal Canadiens,
and when there were half the teams and the Canadians, and
we're on the same page. So Gretzky winning 4 was a big thing, especially because it was it 4 in 5 years, 4 in a row.
Brian Trottier won 4 as well. So
Mike Bossy, up there in the top 20 players of all time in hockey.
Yeah, it's right. It's not the only.
No,
it's sort of like it is a deciding factor, I think.
Mike Bossy, I believe, has the most goals per game in the history of the NHL. At least he did.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about efficiency.
Sure.
Yeah. And
plus he's Russian. Ovechkin's a Russian. So.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine anybody would say, oh, he's a better player than Gretzky.
Right. Here's a stat for Bossy. I just looked this up. In his 10-year career, Bossy averaged 57.3 goals per season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
His goal per games at .762 ranks first in ranks first in NHL history, and his points per game 1.497 is third. So look, Bossy Trottier was great. Trottier was again one of those, his assists and goals were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Bossy, man, I'm telling you, underrated.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Well, there's something about a team and everybody on it that can win 4 cups in a row. So yeah,
and not an easy thing to do. And then they may have had more, but guess who was breathing down their neck?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Gretzky, right.
Gretzky and his buddy
and Messier,
Messier,
mm-hmm.
and Grant Fuhr.
Yep. I gotta love it. All right, cool. Do we have an over-under?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So, what I like about this new camera is you can have different, it's adjustable.
Mm-hmm.
Good for the
different
OnlyFans
settings. Yeah,
Well, that's why I bought it. I mean,
don't have to show the whole room.
Right.
So there's a company called Puzzles Up,
Mhm.
which is going out of business, and they make wooden jigsaw puzzles.
Wooden
Nice.
jigsaw puzzles. That's right there. Wooden jigsaw puzzles.
And they come in this little box,
Mm-hmm.
which is about yay tall.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So I bought a bunch of them for family and friends. I have them here in the bag.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So how many puzzles are in the bag? I'll put this one back in the bag.
Okay.
And let me do that.
Do that, and then squeeze the top of the bag.
And I will close the bag down so you can see how much of it is actually filled. It is that big, and it is that tall.
Okay.
That's the bottom.
Right.
So how many puzzles? And they're all the same size. That's
Okay.
the one I showed you.
What's the over/under?
So the over/under is 8.5. And
8.5.
8.5 puzzle up wooden puzzles.
I'm going over.
John's going over.
I'll
Harry,
go
what do you
under.
think?
I'll go under.
I'll go under. All right. Count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Harry wins.
There you go.
You know why I won?
Why did you win?
Because I went opposite of what I initially thought.
There you go. Well, listen.
Something to be said for that.
That's right.
So, in other words, you don't live your life by go with your gut.
I went with opposite George.
There you go.
These are like if you know someone who likes puzzles, the sale is still going on. The out of business sale. These are probably, I think they're like, I don't know, like maybe 5 inches by 5 inches, but they have much bigger ones.
Mhm.
And you know, these are like, I don't know, $10 or $12 normally, but they're like $3 now.
Really?
So yeah, and the bigger ones, everything is like slashed because he's got to sell his inventory. And so I just got them for a bunch of people that I know like puzzles and games. And it's just a nice little thing, and they're kind of intricate too. They're not like a flat, they're made of wood.
And
so check them out.
The whole company's going out of business, huh?
Yeah, he's closing up shop.
Where is he, out on the island or?
No, it's I got him online.
It's online.
I don't know where he's located.
Send me the link.
Puzzles Up.
Puzzles Up.
Put it in the show links. Put it in the show notes.
Put it in the show links here. I'll
Puzzles Up.
You can scan the QR code. There you go, folks. Freeze frame and scan the QR code.
Now, Pete, next week he's going to be sprinkling the puzzle pieces into a large bag and counting them individually as they're over and under.
And then create one. But they got all sorts of stuff. I got a unicorn here.
They certainly do.
I got a heart made of butterflies.
Oh, look at
this one is a dragon.
There's also one of the cast of Barney Miller, isn't there?
Fish.
Yes.
It was Wojciechowicz.
Yes.
This is a turtle. Speaking of undersea fish.
There you go.
All sorts of different themes. So
right.
I got ones for some of my family and friends.
It was Wojciechowicz, but they saved ink by just writing fish instead of Wojciechowicz.
Wojciechowicz sounds like a Ukrainian dessert.
The Wojciechowicz with nuts and chocolate syrup.
Oh yeah, it has nuts. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's some sort of you don't change it. It's Ukrainian.
Not at all.
You get what you get.
Shut
the fuck up.
You get what you get. You don't get upset, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, are we done?
All right, I think
That's it. That's all.
All right.
All right. See you next year, folks.
On that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Right. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every other Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Rephonic. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Get On With It Sports Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show.
Just find us on YouTube. If you can do that, then you're a magician.
You're ahead of the game. There you go. And
can we put that somewhere?
That statement or the link for YouTube?
No, link for YouTube.
There you go.
Anyway. I think YouTube's a little bit more important than Twitch or Geezer.
It's all there. So just go to just type in "Get On With It," the Logger Room, and yeah, we'll put the link. The link is on the website. If you go to getonwithit.podcast.com, the link to YouTube is there. So
all right, there you go.
And there you go. And again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. And we will talk to you in a couple weeks, folks. Have a great holiday season. We'll talk to you then. We'll talk to you before Christmas.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we will.
You will. I won't.
2 weeks. Good night, folks.
See.
We'll see.
The gauntlet has been laid down.
There you go.
All right. Bye, everybody.